Hey everyone, Brian here with Brink Analytics. Today I'm going to talk about some of the custom settings that you can do for your Permanent Insights mapping platform and give you some other tips and tricks. So the first thing I want to show is that when you log into your Permanent Insights map, you actually, in this case, I've set the marker size to be as small as possible, but perhaps this is too small for your personal preferences, so I want to show you how you can change that. So the first thing you notice, you see this gear icon on the upper left-hand side. And once you click on that, you'll notice that there's two different marker sizes that you can set, either for your desktop, so you're coming to the Permanent Insights platform through your desktop computer, or from mobile. Now, we attempt to make an estimate of whether that's from your phone or from your desktop based upon screen size. So it is possible if you're working with an exceedingly large mobile phone screen or a tablet, it'll come as desktop, or the vice versa. If you have an exceedingly small screen on your desktop, it might be detected as mobile. So if one setting doesn't work, just try the other one. But in this case, let me boost this up, and I'm going to go obscenely large just because we're going to prove a point, and I want you to see the difference. So when you go back, you can see that these are almost not useful. Everything's overlapping each other. So let me set this down to not as small as possible. That was too small. Let me set it to a setting of 15. And these are more reasonable for what I'm looking for. So as I zoom in, you'll notice that they don't overlap anymore because the spacing on the map's pushing them apart. And now let me show you some of the other features you can do within settings. So if I go back and click on settings, now again, the mobile marker size would adjust what it looks like on a mobile device. So I'm just going to make that as big as possible so that they're easier to hit with the tip of my finger. And the other block of settings here, chart settings, I want to give you an idea of what that does. So if you notice right now, whether we're looking at top construction companies, builders, zip codes, etc., we have up to 10 items per chart. Now perhaps this is just too much information. I don't need to see the top 10. Let me just set this down to the top 5. So if I go ahead and click on that, you'll notice that the charts are going to update, and when they re-poll their information, there's now only 5. So it's now showing me the top 4, and then if there's more than 5, it's giving me this other category in the 5th row. And that held for all of the various charts. Now you notice that site counties right now, because on the map we're zoomed into just DC, even though it will give me 5, it's only giving me the 1 because that's the only thing that I'm looking at is the District of Columbia right now. If I were to zoom out and get some other counties in there, you'll notice that this will now update and show me now top 5 counties. So the other thing that you can do is perhaps you're not happy with the default coloring scheme. If you'll notice, there's this kind of like pinkish red and then two versions of kind of an orange color. And when you color on the map, for example, let's color by county, you'll notice that the very first category is that red, and then these two shades of orange, and then this kind of green aqua color. You'll notice it's the same coloring scheme that's occurring right here. So when you click on that paintbrush icon, really the top choice is getting this first color, the second choice is getting the second color. It's coloring by basically the order in which they're appearing in the chart, not by the actual name or the type. So let me go ahead and change this coloring scheme. So perhaps I'd like to go and lead with purple in the first position. So I'll click on purple. Now, of course, you could pick any color. Let's just say pick this deep dark red. This slider here adds transparency to the color. It's usually best to leave some amount of transparency on it. So I'll move this to about the midpoint, and then I'll just click off. And if I go back to the map, you'll notice that the District of Columbia is definitely now red. And then we could choose this purple color. Again, DC is picking up on the purple because it's the first in the counties, meaning that there's the most leads within DC. And now you'll see that DC has the purple color. So that's a quick introduction to what you can do for adjusting both the marker sizes and the coloring settings to your preferred. Now, if you want to reset these back to what was given at the by the development team, you could just reset default sizes, reset default colors, and you'll notice that basically everything's back to the way that it was. But whenever you set these settings and you log out, you log back in, the platform will remember, so you always have whatever coloring choices that you prefer. So 5 is a bit too small for me. Bring that back up, and you'll notice that the markers are again larger. Thanks again for using our platform, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions.